friends. Welcome you to my YouTube channel Cloud Ninja. My name is Varinder, and today we'll be studying identity and access management in this video. And we'll try to understand with the simple examples and try to correlate with very simple examples which are easy to understand. So let's move on to our first slide. AWS services, identity and access management. So really, before digging deep into this topic, let's try to correlate with identity and access management to a security guard or a lock-in mechanism which you generally use in case you're home to really control the access of resources inside your home. Those resources may be your furniture, your electronic goods, gold, or cash, or any valuable resources which you are having inside your home. So similarly, AWS provides a web service which is also called as IAM or Identity Access Management, which is really very good to control the resources which are there in the Amazon cloud. So you may be having different kind of resources, your servers, your applications, your databases inside the Amazon cloud. To really control those resources, or that who will be accessing those resources in a secure manner so that there is no disruption, we can use this IAM service to control the resources. So friends, this is a really important topic, and we'll be studying this topic in 2 and 3 videos. So this is you can say a short video, and we'll be covering the overview of this topic in this video. So let's dig deep into this. Identity and access management, like discussed, is a web service that enables Amazon customers to manage the users and users' permissions in the AWS to control the resources, basically. So with IAM, it is a kind of like in typically Windows environment, we have Active Directory services, with the help of which we control or manage centrally different users, groups, and resources inside our organization. So similarly, within the AWS cloud or Amazon Web Services, IAM is a centralized resource with the help of which you will be able to manage different users, groups, and control the resources whichever they will be accessing according to the need. So when we talk about AWS resources, those could be your EC2 servers, EC2 instances, and your databases. Those could be your Amazon Aurora, RDS, MongoDB, SQL, MySQL, and storage services. It could be S3 or archival storage, whichever storage services are provided by the Amazon. Then application services. So all these resources would be managed within the identity and access management. So really, friends, in order to understand this topic, we need to break this into 2 parts. Just studying the heading, it's saying that AWS resources, identity and access management. So friends, see, identity is basically that who the user is or who the person is who will be accessing the resources, and access management is the way we'll be managing the resources which they will be accessing in the AWS cloud or accessing in the AWS cloud. So in case of identity, let's break it down. Identity would be who the user is or a person is. It may be a user or a group or a role. So which we'll be covering in a bit detail. So let's talk about the user. User represents a person or a service who uses the IAM user to interact with the AWS or Amazon cloud to really access the kind of resources which will be required in the AWS cloud. So when we talk about a user must be having a name, a password, and having the different keys or to log into the AWS console. You can also use the MFA, multi-factor authentication, along with the users to have a fine-grained control over the AWS resources, or to have a secure account which can log into the AWS. So we'll be covering different details about how we can use the MFA with the different users. So similarly, you can see that in a window on the upper right hand side, which when you click onto the users while logging into AWS console, you'll be able to see the different users details. 6-7 users have been created. So similarly, groups like in a Rector directory, we create different groups to really manage a similar kind of users, and it is really easy to manage a similar kind of users. So within the IAM also, you'll be able to create users so that their resources, or we should be able to manage the access for those similar users in a simpler manner. So in an organization, you may be having a group for the different administrators, different developers, or the network administrators. So see, for an example, there is an account which we also call as master account. We'll be covering in subsequent videos. So within the master account, we have different groups created, group admins. We have Bob and Suzanne. Group developers, we have Nate and Brad. Group test, we have Kathy and Ellen. So similarly, we have like user groups. We have roles, which is generally a new concept in AWS. In order to understand, you need to think that like user and group, role is also an entity which which when you will be creating, you will be providing a temporary security credentials to a particular role, or you can say a proxy kind of thing on the behalf of which after getting a temporary security credentials, a user or an application will be able to access a particular resources in the AWS. So you'll be trying to understand that, okay, what is then the basic difference between I am user and I am a role. So I am user, when we'll talk about it, has a permanent security credential or a password associated with it, with which a particular user will be able to access the AWS resources. So when we talk about the IAM, it does not have any kind of permanent security credentials associated with, and cannot make even direct access to the different AWS resources. And basically, IAM roles are meant to be assumed or taken care by the authorized entities such as IAM users or applications, or an AWS services such as EC2. Will be covering a practical that how we can assign and particular role to an EC2 instance. So, for example, if you in a particular this IAM, the resources like EC2, they do not have the EC2 servers. They do not have direct control over the AWS resources. So let's say you are having a web server, and in case of your web server, there are different images which they will be picking up from S3. So in that case, your EC2 instance will not be having access to the S3 storage or S3 buckets. In that case, you need to create an EC2 instance with an S3 role where a security credentials will be embedded into that, so that EC2 instance would be directly able to call the resources from the S3 bucket. So you can see in the diagram given below, wherein admin creates a role that grant access to the photos bucket, basically an Amazon S3 bucket, and they created a bucket named as photos. So in that case, the developer will then launch an instance with an EC2 role, because generally the EC2 instance does not have access to the AWS resources directly. In the third step, the particular application retrieves the role credentials from the instance and get access to the photos using the role credentials which was given to the particular instance. So in that case, an instance will be able to access the particular resources from the S3 bucket. So that's it, friends. In this video, we'll be covering more about identity and access management in our subsequent videos. So friends, thank you for watching this video. If you really like this video, please click the like button below, and if you really like our content, please do share it with your friends, and do provide your valuable comments, and please do share it with your friends. It's our request so that more and more people should be able to understand that what is AWS and how to get benefit from that. So thank you, friends. We'll see you in the next video. Thank you for watching.